The FBI was given just days to hand over key documents or they're going to face criminal charges for contempt of Congress. This has to do with documents that could be incriminating, notably to the Biden family. Now, Representative James Comer, chairman of the Committee of Oversight and Accountability, issued a letter to the FBI on May 24th that details the documents they're looking for. He writes to FBI head Christopher Wray and says, instead of working with the committee, the FBI has refused to even acknowledge whether the FD 1023 form, it's the one they're looking for, exists. And the agency has made no attempts to engage in a reasonable accommodation process. Now, Comer notes the FBI could be guilty of obstruction, a crime. He notes the document is unclassified. There's no reason to withhold it. He notes that Congress already has evidence from whistleblowers that the document exists. They know it's there. And they have information as well on what's even in the document. He writes this, despite the FBI's unreasonable delay, the committee will allow the FBI 6 more days, that's all they get, to produce the FD 1023 form. He says, to the extent that there are numerous documents referencing Biden and $5 million payments, please let us know promptly. Now, this letter gives a deadline on May 30th, and it notes that if the FBI does not hand over the form by that date, quote, the committee will initiate contempt of Congress proceedings, criminal charges. Now, things currently stand right now, details are really not fully public. We don't have everything yet, but this does tie, we know, into the investigations into possible financial crimes, including bribery, interestingly. And they tie to Joe Biden and other members of the Biden family, including, guess who? His son Hunter. And as the case gets deeper, well, there's more claims as well. The FBI is obstructing the investigation or even targeting whistleblowers. News on these alleged crimes have not been limited to conservative news outlets either. Even some on the left are trying to expose this and doing some work exposing it. CBS, for example, they actually interviewed Gary Shapley. He's a supervisory special agent with the IRS who was allegedly on a case since 2019 investigating Hunter Biden. Now, Shapley is coming out as a whistleblower and seeking legal proceedings from Congress to reveal how the Justice Department has been obstructing the Hunter Biden investigations. Watch this.
There was multiple steps that were slow walked at the direction of the Department of Justice.
Had you ever encountered that before?
I have not, no. These deviations from normal process, and each and every time it seemed to always benefit the subject.
Of course, Shapley is being somewhat vague on the details, and this is due to legal requirements on investigations like this. But the way his claims are being interpreted is that the DOJ and the FBI beneath it have been trying to stop the investigation specifically into Hunter Biden and into Joe Biden by extension. And as if to cement the concerns, the IRS, they removed the entire investigative team from looking into this case in Hunter Biden. This was framed as possible retaliation against the whistleblowers who revealed how the DOJ, Department of Justice, is interfering with this probe. Now, the timing for all this is really bad for the FBI and the Department of Justice overall. The agencies, both of them, right now as we speak, are being framed as emblems of systemic corruption, and notably of weaponization of justice, something people believe is seeping into the political establishment right now. Look, we recently learned one example of this, one of many. The report from Special Counsel John Durham has problems in its own, but it noted that the FBI's Crossfire hurricane investigation, guess what? That whole Trump-Russia thing, it was a giant sham. It was fake. It turned out they used fake evidence. They did not carry out the key interviews. And generally, they lied to the American people, the FBI, while their investigation was used notably to interfere in 3 American elections. They interfered in 2016, 2018, and in 2020, the FBI. And apparently the whole Crossfire hurricane investigation was just, well, too ridiculous, even for the British. British intelligence even voiced their skepticism about the FBI probe into former President Donald Trump. They became so concerned, British intelligence, that they stopped cooperating with the FBI. And the American public really don't seem to be very happy about this. A Rasmussen poll found that 63% of Americans, they believe that Crossfire Hurricane, the whole FBI investigation, was nothing but a hit job against Donald Trump. Now look, we also learned that while Obama, the DOJ under him, and the FBI were targeting Trump, that they were taking an almost polar opposite approach to Hillary Clinton, who, remember at the time, was running against Trump for president. Rather than go off of unverified claims and take rumors as fact like they're doing against Trump, the FBI was ignoring actual evidence in the Clinton case. In fact, it turns out, folks, the FBI dropped at least 4 criminal investigations on Clinton. In other words, they did not pursue them. And this paints the DOJ's ongoing probes into Trump, which are still happening as we speak, in a politicized light, and justifiably. It's happening again while Trump is running for president. They're doing the same thing. The department is expected to bring charges against Donald Trump very soon, now the next one at least, for allegedly taking home classified documents when he was president. And as has been noted, all presidents since Ronald Reagan have also done that. But no worries about that. Trump is going to be the only one charged, the first one to ever face charges. And it is a question as well. Given this circumstance, will the Department of Justice end up charging Joe Biden for allegedly committing the exact same crime? Notably, taking home classified documents. Notably as well, when he was still a senator, and also when he was vice president under Barack Obama, meaning he did not, unlike Trump, have executive privilege? Well, Biden was actually questioned about this, including why he had the classified documents stored in his home garage next to his Corvette. Here's what Biden had to say.
Classified material next to your Corvette? What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
So
but anyway.
Was in a locked garage?
Yes, as well as my Corvette.
So it makes it legal then to take home classified documents if the room they're in is locked? Does that mean that this also applies to Donald Trump if his rooms were locked at Mar-a-Lago? Well, look, the DOJ, Department of Justice, they don't seem to think so. And with all this in mind, guess what as well? The FBI is not just targeting Donald Trump. As Trump has suggested, they're also targeting his supporters, including with alleged cover-ups and illegal surveillance. When FBI whistleblowers testified before Congress last week and showed us some really disturbing things, George Hill, a retired FBI supervisory analyst, he revealed something shocking. He noted that the agency pressured officials to investigate 138 people who attended the January 6 protests. Guess what? Even though there was no evidence of them having violated the law. How do you investigate someone if you have no evidence they violated the law? You call that a fishing expedition. And then guess what? He allegedly said something even bigger. He said it's the reason why the public is not getting to see the close to 11,000 hours of footage from January 6th that were never released publicly. Now, the individual, Mr. Hill, said he was told by FBI officials in Washington the reason you're not seeing that evidence is because there might be undercover officers or confidential human sources on those videos whose identity need to be protected. Watch this.
The SSA for CT2 said, happy to do it. Show us where they were inside the Capitol, and we'll look into it. To which WFO said, we can't show you those videos unless you can tell us the exact time and place those individuals were inside the Capitol. To which the SSA responded back, and I was privy to these conversations firsthand, why can't you show us Why can't you just send us give us access to the 11,000 hours of video that's available? Because there may be UC's, undercover officers, or CHS's, confidential human sources on those videos whose identity we need to protect.
That sounds like one of those maybe wink wink moments to me. In other words, what does that mean? A reason why we're not getting public evidence on January 6th, notably evidence that could be exculpatory for people facing charges, evidence that lawyers are trying to get because they need it, is because the FBI likely had its agents mixed in with that crowd. And it was revealed as well that the FBI is not just, throwing out the book on all this stuff, right? Well, actually, maybe they are, at least when it comes to rules on legal surveillance. A federal judge recently revealed that between 2020 and 2021, the FBI illegally spied on hundreds of thousands of Americans. This was done without a warrant. And folks, that's a violation of the Constitution. This is very concerning. But look, it also appears that the allegations are finally seeing the light of day and something's finally being done about it.